the most hated man in the world spent 36 days in a federal cell. On the 37th morning, someone made sure he would never leave it. Or that is what the paperwork says. The elevator is broken. Has been since 11 p.m. Same hour your shift started. Coincidence, probably. This facility runs on coincidence. The maintenance crew was supposed to fix it by 2 a.m. They didn't come. No call, no message, just absence. So you take the stairs. The loading dock terminal is on, screen lit. Nobody sitting at it. An unattended federal terminal at 5:45 a.m. is a violation. You stop, you log it, you timestamp it. Your eyes do what trained eyes do. They read everything whether you want them to or not. Vehicle departure, Bay 3, 4:31 a.m. Authorization code, ADMIN-7. That vehicle left an hour and 14 minutes ago. Nobody cleared the screen. You know every authorization code in this facility. Admin 1 through Admin-4. Standard. Admin 5. Medical emergency. Admin 6. Security breach evacuation. Admin-7 doesn't exist. Not on the reference card, not in any protocol you've ever seen, but it's on this screen, time-stamped, authorized by someone with access to a code that officially isn't real. You photograph it, log it, keep moving. Level 4, SHU corridor, 16 cells, 14 occupied, 2 empty. Cell 220 is not supposed to be one of them. The most hated man in the world has been in cell 220 for 36 days. Federal registration number 76318-054. House E, range 6, bed 547. 3 psychiatrists, 2 attorneys. 1 incident. 3 weeks ago, he told the psychologist was not self-inflicted, then recanted, then swallowed it like a stone. 3 weeks ago, he was on suicide watch. 6 days later, psychological staff cleared him. His cellmate was transferred out yesterday afternoon. No replacement assigned. No reason logged. The last documented check on this tier was 10:40 p.m. A guard carrying linen up the stairs. That is the last entry. 8 hours ago. Protocol mandates a check every 30 minutes. The log shows nothing between 10:40 p.m. and right now. Not a missed check. 16 consecutive mandatory checks. Gone. You reach the window. You look through. Orange fabric. Standard issue in the SHU is gray. Orange is overflow from level 2. Controlled access entry, distribution log, a key you don't carry. No distribution log entry exists. You look at the stillness, not sleep. Sleep has breath. This is the stillness of something arranged. Then the left hand. 36 days. You know that hand. The scar across the knuckles. Lateral, old, raised. The kind a man carries from whatever he was before he became the most inconvenient person in the American justice system. The hands you are looking at do not have that scar. Your hand reaches for the radio with complete steadiness. Your body stopped listening to what you were telling yourself about 3 seconds ago. Control, Reyes, Cell 220, unresponsive inmate, response team. Now. A pause. 2 seconds. Copy, Reyes. Team is mobilizing. You stand at the window, eyes on the hand, no scar. Then, above you, through the concrete and the floors in the offices of people whose names you don't know, a phone rings. First ring. Answered. 6:33 a.m. Before your call has traveled one link up the chain of command. Before anyone who wasn't already sitting at their desk, waiting for this moment, should have known to pick up. You are not the first person to know about Cell 220 this morning. You were just the only one supposed to find it. The response team takes 7 minutes. Standard is 90 seconds. You use every one of them. Logbook open. You write the orange fabric, position, volume, arrangement. Not thrown, not tangled, placed. Thrown is panic. Placed is choreography. You write the hand. Left hand visible. No lateral scarring. You write the camera. Recording light above cell 2, 20, off, camera unit 7C. Non-functional. No maintenance scheduled. Elevator down since 2300. Crew never arrived. Then you write the gap. 10:40 p.m. to 6:33 a.m. 7 hours and 53 minutes. 16 missed checks. Guards Leon and Marcus are at the desk at the end of the hall. One asleep in the chair, the other face down on the surface in front of her. The logbook in front of them is open. 3 a.m. checked. All clear. 5 a.m. checked. All clear. Both entries, both false, written in the same hand. 4 systems, same night, same cell. Elevator down, crew missing, cameras off, logs falsified. Coincidence, probably. The fire door opens. 4 men in response gear. And behind them, wearing a gray suit at 6:40 a.m., like it's the most natural thing in the world, a man you have never seen. No lanyard, no badge, no introduction. He walks through the door like the building already knew he was coming. He nods once at the team leader. They move, not on your call, on his nod. You write, unknown male, gray suit, no visible, ID. Team deferred without authorization chain. Stay on the corridor, officer. I'm the responding officer. I know. He turns. 3 minutes. Through the open door, latex snap. Then a zipper, long and deliberate. The click of a case latch. Not a medical kit. You write, unidentified equipment, inconsistent with standard medical response. At 6:48 a.m., the gray suit comes back out. He looks at your logbook the way a customs officer looks at a passport, not reading it, assessing it. I'll need that for scene documentation. It goes to my supervisor through standard chain, file through the warden. Something recalibrates behind his face. Of course, he says. He turns. You look up at camera unit 7C. The recording light is on. Off when you arrived. Written, confirmed. On now. No technician, no ladder, no visible reason. The camera didn't fix itself. Somebody needed the gap to look like equipment failure rather than a decision. Equipment failure is a maintenance report. A deliberate timed gap centered on cell 220 is a very different kind of document. The DVR system covering this corridor failed sometime the previous night. No technician dispatched, no repair logged. The gap covers the entire window between 10:40 p.m. and 6:33 a.m. The same window in which 2 sleeping guards wrote 16 checks that never happened. 3 failures, 1 window, 0 coincidences. They let you in at 6:59 a.m. Cell 220, 8 by 10. 1 cot, 1 gray blanket, 1 linen set, 1 chair. Here is what you actually find. 3 linen sets, 2 gray, folded with military precision, corners aligned, edges flat. No inmate folds linen like this at 6 a.m. This is the geometry of someone in a hurry who couldn't stop being competent. 1 orange set already being bagged by a team member whose eyes are finding every corner of the room except you. The chair is in the center of the room, directly beneath the ceiling fixture. Standard recessed light bolted into concrete, rated for illumination. Not body weight. No stress marks, no scratches. Nothing was ever suspended from it. The chair wasn't used, it was placed. You're right. Chair placement staged. Ceiling fixture shows no load stress. A forensic pathologist hired independently noted that the injuries were more consistent with manual strangulation than hanging, that the hyoid fractures, the hemorrhaging pattern, and the ligature marks were inconsistent with a bed sheet and a bunk bed. 2 autopsies, 2 experts, 2 opposite conclusions. One was paid for by the government. Then you look at the body. The team has moved it to the cot. Standard procedure, which means the original position exists only in your logbook and in whatever the camera recorded before 10:40 p.m. if it recorded anything at all. The face, the jaw, the hairline, the left eye, documented in the intake photograph, sits fractionally lower than the right. The face on the cot has the right jaw, the right hairline. The left eye does not sit lower than the right. Then the left hand, smooth across the knuckles. The skin of a hand that has never carried what the intake record describes. Healed traumatic laceration, dorsal surface, left metacarpals. Registration 76318-054. Public record the moment the case closes. If the autopsy photographs are ever released, the hand on this cot belongs to someone else. Back page, smallest handwriting. The scar, the eye, the chair. Admin 7. Van at Bay 3, 4:31 a.m. 2 hours before you found this cell. 2 hours is enough time to move a person from a building to a vehicle to anywhere in a city that doesn't require a name at the front desk. Not speculation. Arithmetic. Officer Reyes. The gray suit, same doorway, same threshold. I think we have what we need. Not one of the 4 men beside you is looking at you. I want to speak to the warden. Now. He's been notified, being briefed. That will be arranged. Of course, he says. Second time this morning. Same tone, same script. You walk out. Turn your back to the camera, the one now helpfully recording again. Press the fresh page flat against your chest. Fold it twice. Slide it inside your jacket. Then you wait for the warden, who is absolutely, definitely on his way. By 9 a.m., the building has been replaced by a different building, wearing the same address, same walls, same lights, different people. Moving with the ease of individuals who never need to explain where they're going. They don't sign in. The desk officer lets them through because something in how they move communicates that questioning, it is not survivable. 3 go to the camera control room. 40 minutes inside. They leave with a hard drive in a static bag. 2 spend 11 minutes at the loading dock terminal. When they leave, the screen is dark. You photograph it. A cleared screen is evidence. The negative space where the truth used to be. Nobody speaks to you. At 9:22 a.m., Garza arrives. He sits beside you, doesn't look at the logbook. Leon and Marcus were supposed to be on 30-minute rounds, federal protocol. They were at their desk, both of them, asleep, for nearly 8 hours. He says this like a weather report. Not surprise, just facts in sequence. Admin 7, you say. Van, Bay 3, 4:31 a.m. Code doesn't exist. Maintenance never arrived. The body in cell 220 doesn't have the scar. 11 seconds. The light in that unit is bad, he says. I know what I saw. They falsified the log. Both of them. 3 a.m. checked. 5 a.m. checked. None of it happened. Federal charges for that alone. He looks at the corridor. The hard drive? All of it. Then, not looking at you, keep the photographs. Out of the official report. Somewhere they can't request. He walks toward the warden's office. You open your logbook. Between the last page and the back cover, An envelope you did not put there. This logbook has not left your hands since 6:33 a.m. Someone placed it while you were inside, cell 220, while the gray suit stood in the doorway. One index card, 11-digit international number on the front. On the back, Bay 3 was not the first. Check the visitor logs, July 30th. Ask yourself why a man with no approved visitors suddenly had one. 11 days before the watch was lifted. 4 days before the first incident. The most hated man in the world went on suicide watch July 23rd, cleared July 29th. Whatever was said in that cell during those 6 days died with the recording. July 30th. No entry you can remember. Either it wasn't logged, impossible under this level of scrutiny, or it was removed by the same people carrying the hard drive out in a static bag. You photograph the card. Write the entry. Card in your breast pocket. At 10:15 a.m., 2 investigators scan your logbook page by page. Complete. Everything you observed. Everything except the folded page, what Garza said, and July 30th. You've been thorough, one says. Not a compliment, a measurement. It's my job, you say. 6 pages. Deferred prosecution agreement. Community service. 200 hours. Non-disclosure covering all events, observations, and communications relating to MCC North between August 1st and August 12th. All events, all observations, all communications. Admin 7. The van. The scar. The eye. The chair. July 30th. The phone on the first ring at 6:33 a.m. 2 sleeping guards. 16 checks that never happened. A camera that turned itself back on. In the real world, Leon and Marcus were federally indicted. Not for what they missed, but for what they wrote that never happened. The kind of charge that exists because someone needed the absence of those checks explained before anyone asked what walked through that corridor between 10:40 p.m. and 6:33 a.m. First time since 6:33 a.m. that nobody is watching you breathe. You unfold the page, read every word, refold it. Open your phone. Dana Voss, DOJ, correspondent. She writes the way you keep your logbook. 4 words, I need to talk. You sign. The signature is a concession. It is not a surrender. Westchester, data entry, 7 years, a double shift, a dead man with the wrong hands. You walk out into a morning with the audacity to be sunny. 4 minutes in the car without starting the engine. Your phone buzzes. 3 words, when and where. 6 blocks, 40 minutes. You start the engine. Dana sits down and says, tell me what you have. So you tell her, all of it, the elevator, the van, admin 7, 7-minute response. Gray suit, camera, linen, chair, the body with the wrong eye, the wrong hand, the wrong everything except the shape of a man who needed to be found. Index card, July 30th. The phone on the first ring. Folded page on the table. Photographs on a cash-bought memory card. Index card beside them. She reads without touching anything. The scar is in the intake record. Healed traumatic laceration, left metacarpals. Federal Inmate Detail Report 76318-054. Public record the moment the case closes. If the autopsy photographs get released, 2 pathologists, 2 autopsies, 1 ruled suicide, 1 ruled homicide. The fracture pattern, the hemorrhaging, the marks, none of it matches a bedsheet and a bunk bed. One of those reports is sealed. If, you say, the word sits between you like a stone. She publishes at 2:17 p.m., 40,000 views by 4. 2 major outlets pick it up by 6. By 8, both have pulled it. Not retracted, not corrected. Disappeared. Dead URL. The silence of a page that used to exist? Dana's piece stays up. By midnight, the search indexing is gone. Reachable with the exact URL. Invisible to any search. The story is still there the way a body is still there after you seal the cell. Technically present. Functionally invisible. By morning, disgruntled former employee. Routine separation. Doesn't name you. Doesn't need to. Dana calls. Photographs gone from the public version. I have the originals. Originals in our hands and originals on the internet are two different weapons. Senator on oversight is trying to subpoena the visitor logs. Procedural blocks every time. I'm sending him everything. 3 days later, 11 digits, international. The visitor on July 30th arrived in a vehicle registered to a logistics company that dissolved 48 hours after the visit. The company's registered agent is the same name on the Admin 7 override authorization. Line dead. A company that existed long enough to arrange a visit to the most watched man in federal custody, authorize an extraction code that doesn't officially exist, then dissolved. The corporate equivalent of the camera turning itself back on? Present. Then just the negative space where it used to be. The name is in a filing somewhere. Imperfect machines leave marks. You take the job in Westchester. Sit at the desk. Be exactly as unremarkable as the institution needs you to be. Every evening, you open the encrypted document. Elevator to separation form. 4 locations, 4 people with access, a name, a filing, a thread. Because the point was never to be believed today. The point was to build a record so complete that when the patience of the people blocking finally runs out, and it always runs out because secrets are not compressible forever, the record will already be there, waiting. Somewhere in a room on no federal register, a man officially pronounced dead at 7:36 a.m. on August 10th, 2019, 36 days after he walked into a building wearing number 76318-054, may or may not still have a scar on his left hand. He knew names, he kept records, and the people whose names he kept had every reason, every resource, and apparently every authorization code necessary to make sure that what happened between 10:40 p.m. and 6:33 a.m. was never fully explained. He made a calculation. He decided his survival was worth more to certain people than his testimony. You hope he was right? You're not certain he was, but you write it all down anyway, because that is the only thing they haven't figured out how to take from you yet.